This is Dr. George G. Ritchie III. He had the near-death experience. It was recorded in his book, Return from Tomorrow. Or, when I was 13 years old, Grandma gave me this book because I was really distressed. Back then, I was so distressed. It distressed me to wonder, is there really a life after death? I remember I'd be laying in bed, my butterflies in my stomach, wondering if there was life after death. Well, I was talking to Grandma and asked her about, I had heard from my cousin Paul about people who had died and come back and seen something. So I asked Grandma about that, and she gave me this book right here. And I read this book. And I was distressed because its theology did not totally match my Christian theology, but it was close enough. This time, close enough for me to believe maybe it was of God. But anyways, especially this line. I told you about the life I've lived. I told you about the death I died. And if you keep your eyes on me, you will see more. Jesus tells in the book when he thinks to himself, how come nobody told me the point of living was to learn to love? How can nobody told me? And Jesus said, mentally communicates to him, I did tell you. I told you about the life I lived. I told you about the death I died. Meaning, this had to be Jesus. And that he died for us because he loved us. And if he died for us because he loved us, the reason had to be because he died for our sins. That's, But this part right here, if you keep your eyes on me, you will see me, or you will see more. If you keep your eyes on me, you remember Peter when Jesus came walking on the water. Peter said, "Lord, if it's thee, bid me come out to thee." And Peter comes out walking on the water. But when he takes his eyes off Jesus and sees the boat rage to sea, he sinks. So this was. And also in this book, he says he had been allowed to peer into hell longer than heaven. I remember Dr. Oliver B. Green, fiery preachers preaching, the Lord spoke more about hell than he did heaven. So there's a parallel with true Christianity and his near-death experience. All through this book, it seems to be a theme to keep your eyes on Jesus. Let me show you some. Keep your eyes on me, Jesus had told me as we set out on this extraordinary journey. And when I did, whenever I looked at him, the terror vanished, although the dreadful question remained. Without him before me, in fact, I could not endure the things he was showing me. Keep your eyes on me. Remember Peter, as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus, he could walk on water. And let's go. And suddenly I realized that there was a common denominator to all these scenes so far, the scenes he was seen in hell. It was a failure to see Jesus, whether it was a physical appetite, an earthly concern of an absorption with self, whatever got in the way of his light created the separation to which we stepped at death. Oh, that did something to me. And then is taken to a realm that's not quite heaven yet, but he would have thought it was heaven, except that last vision and last sight he saw in his near-death experience. And something more. In spite of his obvious delight in the beings around us, I sensed that even this was not the ultimate. That he had far greater things to show me if only I could see. Okay. Is this heaven, Lord Jesus? I ventured to calm the brightness they were surely heaven-like. So was the absence of self, of clamoring ego. When these people were on earth, did they go beyond selfish desires that grew and they have kept on growing? Jesus answers them. The answer shone like sunlight into that intense and eager atmosphere. Well, if growth could continue, this was not all. Then there must be